Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 NEWS, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Karu News, Bharat Post News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic, and today's topic is not only current but very, very important. The topic is Youth Conclave on Social Behavior. Social behavior is behavior among two or more organisms within the same species and encompasses any behavior in which one member affects the other. This is due to an interaction among those members. Social behavior can be seen as similar to this is this is due to an interaction among these members. Social behavior can be seen as similar to an exchange of goods with the expectation that when you give, you will receive the same. This behavior can be affected by both the qualities of the individual and the environmental situational factors. Therefore, social behavior arises as a result of an interaction between the organism and its environment. This means that in regards to humans, social behavior can be determined by both the individual's characteristics of the person and the situation they are in. A major aspect of social behavior is communication, which is the basis for survival and reproduction. Social behavior is said to be determined by two different processes that can either work together or oppose one another. The dual systems model of reflective and impulsive determinants of social behavior came out of the realization that behavior cannot just be determined by one single factor. Instead, behavior can arise by those consciously behaving where there is an awareness and intent, or by pure impulse. These factors that determine behavior can work in different situations and moments and can even oppose one another. While at times one can behave with a specific goal in mind, other times they can behave without rational control and driven by impulse instead. There are also distinctions between different types of social behavior, such as mundane versus defensive social behavior. Mundane social behavior is a result of interactions in day-to-day life and are behaviors learned as one is exposed to those different situations. On the other hand, defensive behavior arises out of impulse when one is faced with conflicting desires. In December 2019, a new coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, emerged, sparking an epidemic of acute respiratory syndrome, COVID-19, in humans. The pandemic has led to a massive global public health campaign to slow the spread of the virus by increasing hand washing, reducing face touching, wearing masks in public, and physical distancing, and also not to attending the social events where lots of gatherings are there. By changing our social behavior, we can even control this pandemic. So this is a very, very important topic. And today we are lucky to have two chief guests with her. And I would like to invite my first chief guest. He is Dr. Naveen Gupta. Dr. Naveen Gupta is the director of Hindustan Institute of Management and Computer Studies, HIMCS, Sharda Group of Institutions, Mathura. Dr. Naveen Gupta is a leading behavioral scientist, trainer, management consultant, and therapist. He studied at the IIT Roorkee and has 34+ years of academic experience in teaching and research at the business schools in USA, China, Hong Kong, Dubai, Oman, Sharjah, Nepal, Macau, Sri Lanka, etc. He has worked as the top academic and administrative leaders, including as director FO, several business schools, and as a Director General with Advent Institute of Management, Udaipur, Rajasthan. He also runs today Soldiers of Society, SOS, a NGO in Agra, making difference to the life and livelihood of the auto workers and other poor sections, and enhances the experiences and memories of the national and international tourists to the city of Taj. Welcome, Dr. Naveen Gupta, on our show. Dr. Naveen Gupta You are a very, very leading behavioral scientist, and you have done lots of work to improve the social behavior. Even you are working day and night to improve the social behavior of the auto rickshaw drivers at Agra. And it has created a awareness, and that lots of changes can be seen in the behavior. And not only the behavior, it has impacted the entire society, the city, as well as the image of the country in other countries. So you know far better the importance of the social behavior. And in today's program of where we have youth also, we would like to know your views on the you in this youth conclave on social behavior. Dr. Naveen Gupta, please.
Thank you very much. Thanks for such a lovely introduction. Warm welcome, Dr. Goel. So, social behavior, when we talk about it, is a very, very, very wide, area of discussion, research. Still, the things are, a lot of research are going on. So, when we talk about the youth behavior or common behavior, so what is the culture? If I would like to define as a psychologist or a social scientist, the common behavior can be called a culture. And why this common behavior is adopted? And when we talk about the common behavior or the social behavior of the youth, we need to identify what is this? What is this behavior is? As you have given number of examples during COVID, a lot of behavior is changed, forced or adopted, or maybe the bandwagon effect. If somebody is doing, let me also follow, let me also follow. So what is the behavior and how we can change? I think if I take this discussion in a way, as a teacher, as a behavioral scientist, or socially sensitive, what we need to do. As a psychologist, when I am with the students, I'm taking classes with them. So I use the instrument, psychological instrument, that is FIRE-OB, Fundamental Interpersonal Relationship Orientation of the Behavior. And I'm surprised to see that the interpersonal behavior of the youth is very, very going down. That is the concern for all of us. As we are fortunate that we have the largest army of the youth in the world, demographic dividend. And if we are not able to shape their behavior in a positive way, then we will not be able to take the advantage. And if we are able to take the advantage, if youth is serious, if we are serious, so again, वही पुराना time हमारा लौट के आ जाएगा. We can be again सोने की चिड़िया. This is a great opportunity. You have taken a wonderful discussion today. Now, what we have to see, the common behavior of the youth. One is plus point. If I see, so they are more concerned about their IQ. They are more smart than our generation in terms of the technology, but more focus on IQ and less focus on EQ. One plus point, which is very, very visible to all of us, they are far, far away from caste and religion. They don't have the boundary of religion and the caste. Majority of the youth. They are more career conscious, more focus on IQ, then less focus on EQ. But if I see the dark side or the behavior which need to be concerned or to be changed, that is marriage institution is a now question mark. Intolerance, and the result of the intolerance is that divorce rate is going up and up. And if as a psychologist, if I talk to what is the fundamental of the happiness, the family is one of the very, very strong pillar. So development, growth, at what cost? That we have to think, consider, reconsider. We have to talk कि what is really, करना क्या है? क्योंकि Dalai Lama used to say the ultimate aim of the life is happiness. If I'm not happy, it hardly matters what are the physical comforts, materialistic comfort I have. The kind of package, the kind of job has no meaning at all. तो वो एक चीजों को हमें ढूंढना होगा कि हैप्पीनेस किस चीज से आएगा. तो कैसे ड्रिंकिंग एंड स्मोकिंग बिहेवियर इज गोइंग अप एंड अप, स्पेशली अमंग्स द गर्ल. आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट द जेंडर, और कोई जेंडर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं है, लेकिन जब एक विमेन एम्पावरमेंट की बात आई, इक्वलिटी की बात आई, तो इक्वलिटी के नाम पे जो बॉयज का एक डोमेन एरिया होता था या बैड हैबिट्स होती थी, तो गर्ल्स आर आल्सो अडॉप्टिंग, तो दैट नीड टू बी रिकंसीडर्ड. वो एक सोशल बिहेवियर जो चेंज हो रहा है. यू गो टू दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी अराउंड, यू विल फाइंड सच ए, देन they are more and more focused on the materialistic comforts, hence away from the spiritualism. And if we are away from the spiritualism, that's one good part, they are away from the religion, but spiritualism has to be reintroduced, because that will be the backbone of your character, personality. तो वो हमें reintroduce करना होगा, दोबारा से चीजों को देना होगा. What are the interventions which we can introduce in the society? And the another which is very, very alarming for all of us, the mental health issues like anxiety, depression, even the suicidal tendencies, that is also going up and up. I can say, I have informal data with me, studies in NCR region, every second or third youth is connected with some therapist. Why it is so? When we talk about the friendship, friendship is again a very fundamental pillar of the happiness or life satisfaction. They have the number of friends on Facebook, but when you talk about the real friends, so hardly they will find. The reason being, they are more busy on Facebook or social media, because you don't have tolerance. You cannot accept the difference of opinion. So that is the concern for all of us. What need to be done, what need not be done. Common behavior की बात करें, because youth or we also are learning from the developed countries. For all of us, America is a role model. Nothing wrong. We have to learn from the America also. But because of technology, fast technology, things are, transferred in India also. But if you talk about America, now look at the social behavior. Michigan stories or episode must be knowing everyone. So now we need to find out what are the reasons. इतना aggression society में क्यों है? लोग इतना क्यों कट रहे हैं एक दूसरे से? Why, despite of having all comforts, materialistic comfort, why we are not happy? Why we need a psychologist? Why we need a psychiatric medicines? ये कुछ issues हैं जिनको हमें सोचना होगा, बात करनी होगी. So I think we'll keep on discussing all these things. And if you have, we have the, as I could learn, there are youth also. If they have any question, they can ask me, because this is my area. I can talk at length also about the social behavior. Thank you very much, Mr. Goel.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Gupta, for giving the introductory thing right now, because what Dr. Gupta has said very clearly, the social behavior is, it all depends how you are going to behave in the society. And according to Dr. Gupta, and which is fact, that India is having the maximum youth. And he said, which is a bit shocking news, I think, he said that every second or the third youth is taking psychiatrist or psychologist help in NCR region. This is very alarming. And he said it is now if you are not believing any religion, that is no problem, but spiritualism one should not leave, because if you are spiritual, definitely your behavior will be very nice. And he has also mentioned that just to get the empowerment, or just to have the empowerment, whether it's a women empowerment, one should not follow those things which are not correct and which are not good for the health as well as for the society, like smoking or taking drugs even. So what he says is, we must, it's not bad that if we are following USA or other Western countries, but we should try to take the good things from them. And he also mentioned the aggressiveness, what is there, why it's so much angry, is the people are so angry, the youth is in anger. So all those factors are there. And being a social behavior scientist himself, behavioral scientist, he can, he says that if any one of you want any questions after, once you speak about your thoughts, then you can ask the questions and Dr. Gupta will be very happy to reply those questions also. So thank you very much, Dr. Gupta, for setting up
Thank you,
the
sir.
ball rolling. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and the chief guest. Now she is Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan is a renowned psychologist, trainer, coach, motivational speaker, a special educator for early childhood education and development, a specialized counselor for the drug abusers and alcoholic with an experience of 28 years in rehabilitation center. She holds a PhD in social work and humanity from USA. She is postgraduate in Master of Arts from Mysore University, postgraduate in diabetic health educator from St. John's. Sorry, the youths are going, coming. I don't know with their, I think the problem with their network. She is a, sorry, I have to, yeah, she is a postgraduate in Master of Arts from Mysore University, postgraduate in diabetic health educator from St. John's, Bangalore, and postgraduate in human rights, New Delhi. Her second PhD from Mother Teresa University in counseling psychology. Presently, she is doing her third PhD in applied science from Rajasthan University. She completed her research in a project about CSW in Bangalore city under Women and Child Development, Government of Karnataka. She has done research about adaptive personality, child's development psychology, CDP. It was done with the Children of Observation Home Boys, Government of Karnataka. For the outstanding service towards humanity, she was awarded Indira Priyadarshini Award. She is the nominee of Kittur Rani Chennamma, Government of Karnataka, as the best social worker. She was awarded by Art Mantram Bangalore for Go Green Bangalore. She won Women's Achiever Award of N.A. Harris Foundation, Bangalore. She has presented her papers at many international conferences at Turkey, Istanbul University, and Egypt, trained teachers in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and all over Karnataka. She was the counselor in charge of Karnataka State Counseling Center as an advisor for the Karnataka State Minority Commission 2011 to 2012, and also has designed pilot projects for the Government of India and Government of Karnataka. She is the founder chairperson of the first rehabilitation center. She is the first minority woman in India to have started such a unique, challenging program. She designed mobile computer and tailoring training units with the help of Ministry of Labor, which benefits for the minority girls who are denied education for various reasons. Her title is Smiley Girl of the Town. She builds a new dawn in the darkest dusk just with positive smile. Welcome, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan on our show. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm there.
Okay. Okay, your network is weak. Anyway, we will see that how the work it will go. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, you have heard what Dr. Naveen Gupta has spoken, and he is quite alarmed with the behavioral change, and especially in youth nowadays. And not only he, I think or everyone in the society, even the parents, all the parents are seeing this change. Although many of the youths are going in a positive way because of the advancement of the technology, but there are others which are either not coping up with the technology or with the such type of peer or other pressure that they are going in a wrong way. And you are a champion as far as those addictive whether drug abusers or alcoholic and whatnot. And you have worked very closely with the youth. Definitely, we would like to know your views on the in this youth conclave on the social behavior. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, please.
Very good morning, and to all the viewers of video conference with Goel. Thank you, sir. I very much agree with what Dr. Naveen Gupta has just elaborated. Good morning, sir, and good mornings to all the beautiful, handsome youth who are the panelists today. I would not take it on a negative aspect of the youth, because today I don't blame the youth, I blame the parents, I blame the teachers, I blame the education system which we have given to our children. Let me just go back about 5 decades ago in 1980, I think, when we all were students. Me, Naveen, and Mr. Goel, who were students, what were we taught? The first thing what we were taught, the moment you see any elders, pranam karo, unke pair show, and give them a smile. They are not going to do. That is the first thing. What our parents have given. Second thing, what our teachers gave us was the absolute discipline and obedience. There was no second thought about this discipline and obedience. If we have to enter the school campus 8:15, it is 8:15. It is not 8:16. And the obedience, only once anything is being told to us. Second time it was not told. In the 90s, when after that, by the time we have become parents in 1990, so by the time we became the parents, we became so busy in our own lives, both the parents working, and I'm talking only about the Indian crowd. I'm not talking about the Asian crowd, because if you jump to Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Hong Kong, China, the behavior is entirely different than the Indian children. So when it came to that, we became parents and we started sending our children to school, where we never had that kind of, what exactly the child is doing. And as a married couple or as a parent, I didn't want that joint family. So the custom of that joint family and the custom where we jump to a nuclear family. So that is the first thing, that is the first thing where we have to think what we have given to our. Previously, the behavior was monitored only after the observation by the elders. In school, we had a period. I always, whenever there is, whether it was NEP meeting or whether it was any CPSC or ICC educational meet, my only question is, please implement moral science period. So that moral itself is gone, then the science is no more there. So that is the thing. And why we see more of behavior problem is the one-way education system with the technology what we have. What do you mean by one way? I just take a mobile phone and ask my assistant only what I want. And I'm comfortable and happy with that. Previously, it was even for a small thing, I had to go to my elders, where I was supposed to take the guidance in presence, and then that guidance would be monitored by my elders in the form of my grandmother, my eldest uncle, then my younger uncle, my father, then my so many cousins and things like that. As the life is becoming smaller, the problems are becoming bigger. I think in our days, Dr. Naveen Gupta will definitely agree with me that in our days, we never knew what was that mental health. Mental matlab, uska dimag theek nahi hai. Matlab, wo bachche ka dimag, the child, has some mental problem. So only we knew about that. Visiting a psychiatrist was something, unusual. But today, I think out of 10 students, they are taking the assistance and the medication from psychiatrists and counseling. 6 students are taking counseling. So this question of mental health and the well-being, this has become a hot topic today, especially after COVID, when each one of the family was house arrested for pretty long time, with the kind of uncertainty, with the kind of losing their jobs and all those, their behavior has become, even not only the youth, even the adults also, their behavior also has changed. But youth behavior has diverted into different categories like friends, phones, charts, chart sex, phone sex, and so many other things. Drugs was also supplied with code words and code languages in the car park because nowhere else they were able to go. So the drugs were supplied. We got so many, we raided so many places. The Bangalore police got more than 5,000 kgs of ganja, which is later on, but so many things. Now, coming back to the youth thing, the only thing what I have observed, the only thing what I have been monitoring, when a student come to me, when a parent come to me, the parent has, मेरा बच्चा वो कर रहा है, मेरा बच्चा ये कर रहा है, मेरा बच्चा मेरी बात सुन नहीं रहा है. But has anybody thought about the youth? Have you sat and spoken to the youth? Is there any such facility in the school or colleges where the youth has a problem and they come and speak to a person who is very confident? When we have closed all the sectors, when we have closed all the channels, when we have closed all the ways, and yet we want our youths to have a better relationship, better behavior, how? So they are getting into the split behavior. Not the split personality, they are getting into the split behavior. They behave one when they are in public, they behave extremes when they are alone with their gadget. So these are the two things what every parent has to ask a question to themselves: why is my child doing this? Why is my child not respecting? Why is my child not behaving well in front of others? Why is my child not well dressed? Why is my child not sleeping? What is the social contact? What are the other things? There are so many things what we can do. Only then it comes up to the mental health. Anyhow, the child is growing. The growth does not stop. Whether it is the child is a drug addict, whether the child is an alcoholic, whether the child is something else, the growing never stops. 10th finish, second PhD finish, then again degree finish. The actual social behavior impact, the impact of your social behavior will be known when you are from the knowledge to experience, out of the college and working. Only then you will be having a great gap and not be able to manage. So that is the time. Please don't allow them to go from that knowledge to experience. I always say that knowledge to experience is, knowledge is the time when you're studying, experience is when you're working. So just it is in one ball gap from college to work, degree to a professional. So that is the time. Most of the time whenever I do a program, I ask children what is success. So some say a big car, a big house, a big position, a big job, a well-settled family, and things. Nobody thinks. For me, according to me, what is success is just be happy for today. You just be happy for today. That is the most successful thing. You be happy that you're successful, that whatever failures you had since morning, you never committed suicide. You never left. You never left the home. See, in 1985 to 95, we had so many cases of runaway. Now we don't have the cases of runaway. Maybe very few cases we have runaway cases when the child is an orphan or the child is, not being treated well. There is nothing like, there is an abused child or things like that. Today, the helplines are so much that even one call, you will get help. People are so much aware about all these things. So that is the only one thing that I will not blame that even, the parents of 80s, 90s or 2000, the entire situation grew up so fast that we as parents are not able to understand what is the behavior of the child, why the child is behaving. The child is so happy in his or her friends circle. The moment it comes to the relative, the child becomes, like the child with the friend is extrovert, the child with the family is introvert. So that's why I said, the split behavior. This is the split behavior what they have. And every child who comes to me, I see that that particular child is, an hyperactive child, then an hyperactive teen, hyperactive youth. So when the hyperness is not being tamed or managed, automatically what happens, that will be multiplied day by day, day by day. Nobody wants to listen to the child. So the child also has lost to talk to anybody. The biggest problem among the youth is the sexual behavior. I'm so sure Dr. Naveen Gupta has that experience, the behavior of any youth today. Whenever I ask them, what is this, ma'am? Like I'm talking something, which is no. When this kind of problem is there, where should a child go? Where should a youth go? Where teenage go? So there should be a big question mark to all the parents who are watching this program. And I'm so sure, a bigger guide and a bigger research target for me is always my youth. So I will never let my youth to say, that they have to do this. This is not in blame of youth. This is a topic to be discussed and find. I think the youth will give a better solution, like what they are looking forward, so that we can work accordingly. Thank you, Goel sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, for giving your views. And what Dr. Rukhsana Hassan says, that it's not the fault of the youth, it's the fault of the educators, the parents, and the parenting. And she has elaborated all the things, how the youths are behaving, the split behavior. She says it's because of the split behavior, because the way they has been treated either at home or at the school or college. That's why they develop that split behavior. And nobody is having time to talk to them and check up what is the problem, so that they can come out and then once their things are solved, then they will not have problems. But that is why she says either they will go to the drugs or alcohol or whatnot. But it can be changed. There is nothing that we cannot change it. Only thing is the parents or the educators, everyone has to give some time to the youth. And I will add here, the other day I was discussing with my friend, and I was saying we were lucky in our generation because the parenting which were given by our parents was far better than the parenting which we have given, because we were born when India was just got the independence. At that time, we were having only the hero ship of those freedom fighters. We were listening about them, and that's why we have that patriotic feeling amongst ourselves. We were having no other technological support at that time. Rather, television were not there, even phones, only the landline, which was also very few houses used to have. Electricity is very few houses used to have. At that time, our main time to be spent with the parents, and parents were giving lots of time, either the parents or the grandparents, to the children. So the behavior, the social behavior, has very rightly said by Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, the responsibility of the parents or the grandparents. And when we have gone to the schools, yes, moral science we studied, and the time the teachers used to give and they talk about the morality, that is missing nowadays. When we came the parents, we were having no time. We were busy in earning money. We have forgotten our own time, that how our parents, they were also earning money, but they were giving full time to us. And we were so much busy that we have forgotten our own children. And that's why the children are, and similar thing happened, similar thing happened with the educators. Earlier, the educator means, if I will go to the house and complain about any teacher that he has scolded me or something like that, I will get double scolding from my parents. Nobody will say anything against the teacher. But today the situation has changed, because the respect what we used to give, we were told that the teacher is another god, and that's why we give that respect to them, and that's why we listen to them. But nowadays parents are behaving wrongly. They immediately react. They go to school, college, they start fighting with the teachers or the principal or the dean or the director. That wrong setup, then that the youth feels, oh, I can do this thing. Once this type of feelings are coming in our youth, then definitely the social behavior is changing. And if we blame politicians or others, no, we have to blame ourselves, the civil society, and especially the elders, that if you behave nicely, if you will not abuse anybody, if you are not busy on mobile phone, then the child will also be listening and watching you very carefully. Thank you very much, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. Now I would like to invite the youth guest. You, as I told you earlier, you have to introduce yourself, give your name, your class or the standard where you are studying, name of the school or the college and the city, and then you can speak for 5 minutes. And one question is allowed. If you have any question for Dr. Gupta, you just ask one question and he will be happy to reply to you. Okay, so now I'm starting from I am inviting my first youth guest, and she is Miss Anvi Bindal. Miss Anvi Bindal, you have heard both the chief guests, Dr. Naveen Gupta as well as Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. They have given their views. Now we would like to know your views on social behavior. Miss Anvi Bindal, please first introduce yourself and then speak, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. My name is Anvi Bindal. I am a student of MBA first year from Kite Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad. I have penned down some of my thoughts on social behavior. So, social behavior is driven by thoughts and feelings, revealing our character traits, that are attitudes and our values towards towards our society. These can be aggressive, mutualistic, cooperative. Now, I believe social behavior is shaped by psychological traits, as personality types vary from person to person, producing different actions and our behavior towards different situations. Social behavior falls upon a spectrum where some behaviors might be acceptable and some might not be acceptable, or as some may call people, antisocial. Behavior is ranked and judged by the society, and the definition of good behavior and bad social behavior is set by the society. It varies with environment, our peer group, our culture, our country. What might be acceptable to one culture might be offensive to some other culture. This is also how social norms condition our behavior. Humans are forced to follow certain rules and display certain behavior according to the societal norms. Now, why do we emphasize on good social behavior? Humans are known for their ability to express. The most effective way of dealing with other people is a good social behavior, as it involves empathy. And now, why empathy? It encourages acts of kindness. Everyone needs to understand the importance of expressing gratitude. Think of a child and how his confidence boosts up when he is appreciated by his teacher or when he is applauded by his entire class. Next question is about the challenges one might face with their behavior in a social setting. Our society is so rigid with the rules and regulations specified in the book of their mind that one has to be careful about their behavior while presenting themselves. Let us consider the example of the stigma and discrimination towards the LGBT community, that is our lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual community. Our bad social behavior adds to poor mental health and even push some of them over the edge to attempt drastic measures such as suicide. We teach our kids, our families, our parents, our friends to suppress their identities because our society does not accept this behavior. Although this is totally natural. Next, we can talk about the famous online multiplayer game PUBG. It is a violent game, and people who are playing it are becoming more aggressive while also socially isolating themselves. Young people are so influenced by the game subconsciously that they commit antisocial behavior because it is making them impatient, hostile, and self-centered. Now, how does our body language play an important role in depicting social behavior? Our eye movement, our facial expression, our hand gestures hold great significance in social behavior. Where to look, how to move hands, what to speak, when to stop are the common norms that define our social behavior rules. To sum up, social behavior is a big part of our life since the day we are born until the day we die. It is attached as a part of our character. It is how we are judged, and it dictates every action we take. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Anvi Bindal, for giving your views. You have any question for Dr. Gupta?
No, sir, not right.
Okay. So what Ms. Anvi Bindal rightly said about the behavior, social behavior, that how they are acting throughout the life, depending on their personality, how it was developed, and their teaching, and what they got from the family. She mentioned about the addiction of some online games, etc. But as Dr. Rukhsana Hassan as well as Dr. Gupta mentioned earlier, it is because the lack of time given by the parents, or lack of time from the family, other family members. So that is one of the reasons. But definitely, I would like to have some expert comment from Dr. Gupta on what Ms. Anvi Bindal has mentioned. Dr. Gupta would like to comment something. Please unmute. Please unmute, Dr. Gupta.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments of the Anvi and the concern. First of all, I would like to quote the words of the Rukhsana. She has spoken very well. The values, and you also mentioned somewhere during your talk, that values are not taught, values are picked up. What the youth are doing, so we are only and only responsible. When we talk about the parenting now, because as we talk about the behavior, we talk about the personality, we all know very well, I don't want to be too much technical, that physical plus mental aspect of an individual, that is known as a personality. But when we talk about, so we are more and more concerned with the mental domain. And what Anvi has also mentioned, that your attitude, your perception, your interpersonal relationship, the way you manage your conflict also, the way you manage your stress, but that is all. अभी तो गोल में जो बात क्या है वो बहुत बढ़िया क्लियरली उन्होंने कहा है after lot of research work that for being more effective or successful in your career or in life, it is not your IQ, it is your emotional quotient, which matters a lot. Now the concern is कि जो हमारा ऑब्सेशन था आईक्यू को लेके, वो तो भी रिसर्च ने, बिहेवियरल साइंटिस्ट ने कहा इट हैज नॉट अ सिग्निफिकेंट रोल एट ऑल. टॉप पे भी आप देखेंगे, लीडरशिप पोजीशन पे भी देखेंगे, किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में भी देखेंगे, लुक एट द गोयल सर आल्सो, तो हाउ ही कैन मैनेज सच है, मतलब कितना डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन, लोगों को मोटिवेट करना, ये सब चीजें, तो वो सब चीजें एक हमारा कंसर्न है. सोशल बिहेवियर को हमें अभी बात करना, देयर आर समथिंग गुड आल्सो, आई डोंट डिनाई और आई डोंट वांट टू बी बायस्ड फॉर द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन. Anvi has said very clearly the attitude toward LGBT is tremendous change. During my time, ऐसे लोग बेचारे कैसे जीते होंगे, मैं कभी रियलाइज भी नहीं कर पाया, कभी एम्पैथाइज भी नहीं कर पाया. Now we accept them. This is something good change in the society. We have concern, we have empathy, and not sympathy, empathy. Yes, है तो है. We need to. This is the very positive change, very positive change. I must, appreciate their attitude. But there are attitudes, Rukhsana has also mentioned. You go to any family now, everybody you see is busy with their smartphone. We don't have time. सामने वाले से बात नहीं कर रहे हम लोग. And it is the concern of the parents. But अभी क्या हो गया, एक अच्छी बात, पेरेंट्स भी वही बिहेवियर कर रहे हैं, especially mother. Most of the time you will see they have also learned. One of my friend is saying it's now उसको शिकायत नहीं होती है मेरे मोबाइल से, because उसने भी स्टार्ट कर दिया है. तो वी आर डूइंग ये बैंड वैगन इफेक्ट जो चारों तरफ चल रहा है. नाउ इट इज अ कंसर्न. सामने वाले से आप बात नहीं कर रहे हो, क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो? थोड़ी देर में आपका डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन दैट रिफ्लेक्ट्स एंड वी क्रिएट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को वी डोंट नो हाउ टू हैंडल. बड़े बड़े रिश्ते छोटी छोटी चीजों पे खराब हो जाते हैं. विद योर ओन ब्लड रिलेटिव्स आल्सो. लुक एट द क्या था जो ज्वाइंट फैमिली में, अभी फैमिलीज कहाँ है? इवन हस्बैंड और वाइफ इफ दे आर स्टेइंग टुगेदर, उसको कहते हैं हम ज्वाइंट फैमिली. अभी वो भी खत्म हो रहा है. Because we are learning very fast from the European countries, Western countries. They want to be studies. आपने बताया, can more than 52% population of the European countries, they want to stay alone. If they can manage, I don't have. उनको कमेंट नहीं करना. मैं तो पहले अपनी बात करूंगा, अपने सोसाइटी की बात कर रहा हूं. I'm from a small town. वहां पर अगर आइसोलेशन सिंड्रोम अगर पैदा हो गया, आ गया, तो मुझे लग रहा है कि ये ओमिक्रॉन से भी ज्यादा सीरियस सिंड्रोम होगा.
ओके, थैंक यू डॉक्टर.
वो हमें देखना है कि which behavior to be reinforced, which behavior need not to be reinforced. कहाँ नेगेटिव reinforcement की जरूरत है? सर, लाल सर, ये बात को यहाँ तक खत्म नहीं करना है, क्योंकि इतना बड़ा इशू है. हमें ये देखना है कि कौन सा. Still I am confused when I am with my children, own children, with my students. Which behavior need to be accept, which need not to be accept. For example, foul language has become so common now because through the web series. Parenting की हम जब बात कर रहे थे तो पहले रोल मॉडल हुआ करता था मदर और फादर. अभी तो मीडिया has taken a very very significant role. A baby born is more exposed towards the TV. पेरेंट्स भी क्या करते हैं कि दिमाग मत खा मेरा यार, मोबाइल फोन पकड़, दूध पी ले. पहले उसको दूध पिलाने के लिए द होल ज्वाइंट फैमिली, दादी, चाचा, ताऊ सब लग जाते हैं कि बेटा दूध पी किसी भी तरीके से. अभी तो जस्ट लुक एट द मोबाइल. वी आर टीचिंग बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव टाइम. वी आर इन द era. कुछ भी गलत नहीं है, कुछ भी सही नहीं है, पर ये सोचना यह है कि कौन सी चीज को रीइंफोर्स करना है. सर, मैं तो बहुत कंफ्यूज हो जाता हूं जब बिहेवियरल साइंस की बातें करते हैं कि कहाँ चल रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है ना. When I am with my own daughter, तो मैं देखता हूं कि perhaps कुछ चीजों में she is more clear than me. तो वो हमें देखना होगा कि अब जैसे मान लीजिए मैंने अभी एक टॉक में मैं इनवाइटेड था, what need to be done. Then Times of India में I have written an article also कि अगर चलिए मोबाइल बिहेवियर कोई अगर थोड़ा सा हमें रिड्यूस करना है, स्मार्टफोन का बिहेवियर को रिड्यूस करना है, तो मैंने लिखा एक टेक ओथ, a pledge, 2T till T. I have written a good article which I really like. मेरे खुद को अच्छा लगा मुझे, टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में which was published. 2T, 2 दिन कोई भी सुन लीजिए, मे बी ट्यूसडे एंड थर्सडे, 2 दिन टिल टी टाइम तक मैं आई विल नॉट यूज सोशल मीडिया. स्मार्टफोन यूज नहीं करूंगा.
Dr. Gupta, you are going to harm my this profession, because to be very frank, I am using social media for almost 17 hours a day. But what Dr. Gupta is saying rightly, if you are using the social media for the benefit of the society, then it is good. But if you are using it to learn bad habits or the foul language, then it is not correct. Thank you, Dr.
Sir,
Gupta.
I would like to correct.
I will come back to you again.
Myself.
Yeah,
I would like to correct myself if it is an addiction.
Yes, please.
And you need to check your addiction. मोबाइल को थोड़ी देर रुक के, अगर आपको if there is restlessness in your body, if there is any change in your body chemistry, then it is an addiction. And if it is addiction, you know, in China, Japan, बहुत सारे detoxification center आ गया. Why we go for vipassana?
Yes. Okay.
We have never given importance to the vipassana in past.
Yes. Dr. Gupta, I will come back again to you, because we have to listen from them. Then again, I will come to you. Thank you, Dr. Gupta, for giving your expert opinion about what Miss Anvi has mentioned. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Miss Arifa Usmani. Miss Arifa Usmani, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Naveen Gupta and Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, as well as the earlier youth guest. We would like to know your views on social behavior. First, you just turn your mobile in a horizontal position, Miss Arifa Usmani. Yes, please. Yes. Yes. Introduce yourself and speak, please.
A very good morning to everyone. My name is Arif Osmani. I'm a science graduate with a degree in BSc Honors Biotechnology, and I'm currently pursuing my Master's in Management from Kite Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad, UP. And I'm here to express my views on social behavior. Social behavior is the activity of one person which qualifies, modifies, and otherwise alters the act of another individual. Any act which has been influenced by the society and also influenced the society can be considered as the social behavior. Social behavior can also be defined as the behavior in which the responses are either serve as the social stimuli or are evoked by the social stimuli. India is one of the few countries that appears to have recognized the power of deliberately crafted emotive cues to action, such as the Prime Minister's call for the voluntary Janta curfew, encouraging the citizens to show that they care for themselves and their loved ones and to display their patriotism. Patriotism, fear, and gratitude were effective as initiating cues to action, but were insufficient to sustain behavioral change and are needed to be rekindled periodically. Now, I would like to talk about some types of social behavior. It is mainly of two types, that is, overt social behavior and symbolic social behavior. When two people are talking to each other in a very loud manner to show some sort of muscular behavior, it is the case of overt social behavior. Then, what is symbolic social behavior? When a picture is published in the magazine and people react to it, this is the case of symbolic social behavior. Similarly, the facial expression of one person is the symbolic social behavior because the other person for whom it was meant can understand its significance. Now, I would like to talk about the social behavior of an introvert and an extrovert person. So, an introvert person is that person who does not interact a lot with people, whereas an extrovert person is a person who interacts a lot with people, but their social behavior could be different. For example, if a person is an introvert, but his family is very friendly to him, they enjoy their life, they enjoy each and every moment of their life, they live a very happy life, then this person will surely behave the best with interacting with the people. But if a person is an extrovert, but he is facing family issues, then he or she will not be able to behave the best when interacting with the people. I would also like to explain the effect of social norms on social behavior with the help of an example. Firstly, social norms are created and set by our own family background. For example, a boy from a European country and a boy from an Eastern country have different social backgrounds. This is because the people at European countries are kind of rational people, but the people at Eastern countries are sentimental. So indirectly, this thing has a very big impact on the behavior of the person when he or she is allowed to behave when he or she is in the process of socialization. I would like to conclude by saying that the world around us is full of an overwhelmingly large amount of stimulation, from music to movies to the people we interact with in our daily life. The daily activities of each person affects the reality of others. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I'm more than honored to be a part of this conference.
Thank you very much, Ms. Arfa Usmani. You have any question for Dr. Gupta?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay. You have mentioned very clearly about the that social behavior also depends on the environment and the background, and like you said, the Western country and the Eastern country. Dr. Gupta, would you like to comment on that? Please unmute. Please unmute, Dr. Gupta.
Arifa has given a lot of input to me to speak. Arifa has mentioned about the social behavior. देखिए अभी क्या हुआ है, मक्युलिज्म पर्सनालिटी इज ग्रोइंग इन सोसाइटी, और ये बड़ा साइलेंटली कब कहाँ कैसे हो रहा है चेंज इन द बिहेवियर. इट इज जस्ट लाइक कोविड. कहाँ से आ रहा, कैसे हो रहा, उसको चिंतन कर सकते हैं, बट करें क्या, what are the injection vaccines available, वो हमें देखना होगा. Machiavellism personality, perhaps you must have heard, if I am addressing the youth, because they are all MBA students, so they all understand. Machiavellism personality में क्या हो गया कि you want more and more, never satisfied with the current achievement. आपको success, तो उसके लिए you compromise with the means. Means are not valuable for you. But end results, I need promotion, I need a good package, I need success at any cost. वो जो चीज सिखाया गया हमें at any cost, कहाँ से सीखा वो मुझे नहीं पता. We may be responsible also. वो उसमें थोड़ा सा अचीवमेंट में nothing wrong, है ना. If we are satisfied, तो वो जो प्यालिती कहने का हम उस देश के वासी हैं, अब वो वाली बात नहीं है कि थोड़े में गुजारा करते हैं. थोड़ा नहीं चाहिए, अब ज्यादा चाहिए. ये दिल मांगे मोर, ये दिल मांगे मोर. तो मीडिया हैज टॉट अस नो टाइम, क्योंकि बिकॉज women are also into the workforce. तो अब जो मीडिया पढ़ाता है आपको, जो कंज्यूमरिज्म की जो थियोरीज है हम लोग पढ़ाते हैं एमबीए के स्टूडेंट्स में, ने डोंट से कि तुम्हारे पास टाइम है कि नहीं, कि नहीं, आप कहिएगा कि 2 मिनट्स, बिकॉज आई कैन नॉट हैव टाइम फॉर माई चाइल्ड. तो 2 मिनट वाला चीज मैगी खा लो. ये नहीं कि आलसी मदर है तो इसलिए मैगी खाओ. 2 मिनट का टाइप ए पर्सनालिटी, नथिंग रॉन्ग इसमें चीजों में. बट हमें ये भी सिखाना होगा जब वो मैकियावेलिज्म पर्सनालिटी बढ़ती जा रही है कि हाउ टू हैंडल द फेलियर, व्हिच वाज गिवन वेरी गुड कंसेप्ट इन द मूवी छिछोरे. आईआईटी में सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ तो व्हाट इज द ऑप्शन, बिकॉज आई विल बी द लूजर, सोसाइटी विल परसीव. अभी आप देखिए ना, हर जगह में क्या कर लिया कि वी कैन नॉट टॉलरेट द लूजर और फेलियर. वो कॉन्फिडेंस ना तो पेरेंट्स ने दिया इस जनरेशन को, ना खुद में उनसे आया कि नहीं, यू हैव टू अचीव, यू हैव टू बी सक्सेसफुल एट एनी कॉस्ट. छुछेरो मूवी में दिखाया कि नहीं, टीच देम हाउ टू हैंडल द फेलियर आल्सो. रिसेंटली व्हेन वी लॉस्ट द मैच विद द पाकिस्तान, we have not lost the match, we have lost the sportsman spirit. हमने पूरा दिखा दिया कितने इंटॉलरेंट है, और हमारे लिए वो ही सक्सेसफुल है जो कामयाब है. जो कामयाब नहीं है वो हम एक्सेप्ट करेंगे ही नहीं. तो ये जो बिहेवियर है, दिस नीड टू बी एड्रेस्ड, दिस नीड टू बी डिस्कस्ड. व्हाट आर द काइंड ऑफ साइकोलॉजिकल इंटरवेंशन नीड टू बी इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. और इसके लिए छोटे छोटे हम एक्सपेरिमेंट कर सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं. जैसे मैंने बताया कि मोबाइल फोन, इफ इट इज एडिक्शन, तो 2T till T 2 दिन ट्राई करके देखो अगर एडिक्शन है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग अगर आप पर्पसली लाइक मिस्टर गोयल इज यूजिंग वंडरफुल, इतना बढ़िया यूज कर रहे हैं मीडिया का, तो ये भी एक हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी लर्निंग है. तो इफ एडिक्शन है तो 2 दिन के लिए आप करें, है? So these are my comments about.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Gupta. But I would like to add one thing. What Dr. Gupta said, rightly said, that the competition, everybody dil mange more. But who is teaching them? The parents. Parents want their own ego to be satisfied. My child should be number one. And that is one of the reasons. And I will also blame, although Dr. Gupta is there, the educational institutions. I was watching yesterday the television, so and so university, I will not name, the package, so many crores. Now the child who is studying, the parents will say, see, that child got that university, that student got the 2 crores package. Why you are not getting? Now these feelings were not there when we were studying. We were not having the feeling that if we will become doctor or engineer, that how much we are going to earn. It was a prestige to work as a doctor or engineer or a professor or teacher, but not for the money's sake. Today, the condition is, even if you are an IT professional, you are an MBA, you are only successful if your package is good, which I think we all has to take the responsibility. We should not. I checked up because my children are abroad. I asked them about their salary, how much you are getting. And the reply they gave me, this is very bad etiquettes to ask the salary of anybody in here in US or in our India. First thing they ask, वो लड़का कितना कमाता है, how much your son is earning, how much your daughter is earning. They will not concerned that he or she is he's on a good position. No, first thing is money. So once we will have this money thing in our thing, our behavior changes. I think so. I am not a MBA. I am not as learned as Dr. Gupta, but I feel that we should change our attitude also. Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta, for giving good thought for me. I think I will keep a program on this again, some different way, because it's required. The parenting is to be changed. The education has to be changed. Values, as Dr. Gupta said, we have to inculcate the values, not the only money part. And that's why the social behavior is changing. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Miss Bhavna Jain. Miss Bhavna Jain, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Naveen Gupta, as well as Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. Now, and earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know your views on the social behavior. Miss Bhavna Jain, please first introduce yourself and then speak.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bhavna Jain, and I am from Kite School of Management, and I'm in MBA first year.
Ms. Jain, your network is weak. If you are using the Wi-Fi, please switch over to your mobile phone network or other device. Are you on mobile?
No, sir.
So try to come on the mobile network, because Wi-Fi sometimes if others are using, then it will not be working. So what I will do, I will take you next. I will go to my next panelist. Just do the rectify your problem, and then we will take you again. Thank you very much, Ms. Bhavna. Now I would like to invite my next youth guest, and he is Mr. Nishan N. Mr. Nishan N, you have heard, rather he is a Rotaract president of Mangalore, so you have heard Dr. Naveen Gupta, our chief guest, as well as chief guest Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, as well as earlier youth guest. We would like to know your views on social behavior. Rotaract, Nishan, and please.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Nishan, and I study in SDM Law College, Mangalore. So today's topic for
your network is also
behavior.
very weak, Nishan. And anyway, please go ahead. Let's see if please go ahead.
Okay. So what is social behavior? Social behavior is characterized the interaction that occur among individuals. This can be aggressive, mutualistic, cooperative, altruistic, and parental. So when individuals interact repeatedly, social relationships develop. This can form along with strangers, relatives, or members of the same or opposite sex, and members of the same or different generation. So sets of consistent social relationships produce social system or social organization. Actually, social behavior is the behavior that we show among same species. For example, an animal can show same behavior with same species animal. For example, dog shows some behavior changes when it meets other dog, so or any other animal. Same way, humans show some behavior changes when they meet other person. Social behavior is the activity of an individual which qualifies, modifies, or otherwise alters the act of another individual. A social behavior is stimulated by society, which again stimulates other members of the group or society. So any act which has been influenced by the society and also influences the society is called social act. Any behavior of a person which has not been influenced or modified by society, and which itself does not qualify or modify or stimulate the members of the society, is not social behavior. For instance, we might be entirely different person when we are alone, because we can sit anyhow, we can keep our leg anyhow, we can be in any other posture. Nobody is going to ask. But when we are, when we start interacting with others, we won't be the same, because we have to follow some basic decorum. We can consider work from home as an example for it. An employee working from office will be definitely will have to follow better social behavior than a person working from home, because we change according to atmosphere outside. But when we are alone, there is least tendency to change. I can tell one can improve social behavior by joining any one social association or organization. I suggest this because I am a member of Rotary Club of Mangalore City, where youth gather every week and discuss on various topics, so that we can gain knowledge on various fields, and also it helps us to develop ourselves. Every week we meet people who are from different social and professional backgrounds. By interacting with them, we learn new things which is not related to our profession, by which we gain additional knowledge. Because in an association where we meet different persons with different personalities, we have to adjust with them. Like we have to control our, like we have to speak politely, we have to control our anger. We can't shout at them if they're wrong or at any part. We have to we have to understand how to live in society when we go with many different people of different mentality. We follow some basic etiquette so that we can avoid conflict among ourselves. When we meet different set of people, we learn to behave well socially. So to conclude, I would like to say one can improve, develop social behavior by interacting with different people of different age group or different mindset, not by staying alone at home. By staying alone at home, we can't improve ourselves. I would like to thank Lal Goel sir for this wonderful opportunity, and also for inviting me for today's media conference, and also thank to Dr. Naveen Gupta sir, one who has made various statements by which we could gain more knowledge on special subject, that is social behavior, as well as Dr. Rukhsana Hassan ma'am for giving us her point of view. I also thank my co-panelists for letting us know more about social behavior. Thank you one and all.
Thank
Over
you
to
very
you,
much.
Lal Goel.
Thank you very much, Roderick Nishan. And you mentioned about the social, how the student or youth behave differently at home and outside. If you see, I always believe that yes, what you are saying is right, that when you are outside, your behavior should be very different and very polite. But what we are seeing in our political leader class is, you see any parliament live telecast, you will feel like dogs are fighting with each other. See the difference. Although Dr. Gupta says we should not follow blindly the Western culture. Yes, blindly word is used. Why? Because if you see the UK Parliament, how decently, even if they have to say something in a very angry mood, they will say, "Excuse me, sir, do you think we are fools?" Like that, but very politely and firmly. Here in India, it is abusive language, and that's why when the youth is looking towards, as I mentioned initially, that we were used to hear the stories of Mahatma Gandhi, Lala Lajpat Rai, Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Patel, Pandit Nehru, etc., etc. But what today we are hearing is those politicians who are fighting like an abusive language they are using for each other. How we think that Indian youth can behave nicely if our leaders are not behaving nicely? They should understand they might be different in the political scenario, but they should behave properly. They should know that the children and the students and the youth are watching them. So anyway, Dr. Gupta, your comments, please.
Yeah. Vicky, if you allow me, so I would like to take 5 minutes more.
Oh,
And
Dr. Gupta, sir, then what I will do, if you just make the point, what I will finish with the youth, and then you will be speaking the last. That will be better. Otherwise, time is fixed. Na? Okay, that will be better. Or you want to speak now for 2 minutes or so?
no,
Because
as
there are
you
two guests, youth guests are still there.
So I can speak later. Huh?
Okay, thank you, Dr.
I would
Gupta.
like to share a few examples.
Yeah, I understand.
I
I
have
will
practiced.
take. Yes. I will now go to the next my youth guest, Miss Bhavna Jain. Are you there? Or I will go to the Miss Bhavna Jain. No. Okay. I would like to go to
Sir,
Miss. Yes, Miss Bhavna Jain. Please unmute and.
Sir, I will be the next.
You will be the next. Okay. Okay. So I will like to invite my next panelist guest and youth guest. She is Miss Priyanka Bhatt. Miss Priyanka Bhatt, she comes to on a very regular basis on media conference with Lal Goel, and she is quite popular in the law college, and she's taking active parts. It's very good thing. Miss Priyanka Bhatt, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Naveen Gupta, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, as well as earlier youth guests. We would like to know your views on social behavior. Miss Priyanka Bhatt, please.
A very good morning to all the respected dignitaries present over here. Myself, Priyanka, pursued MCOM and presently pursuing my LLB in SDM Law College, Mangalore. So basically, I would thank Mr. Goel sir as well as Global TV for giving me this wonderful opportunity. So let me begin with a quote. The key to success, social behavior, be approachable and understand the needs of others. So basically, this topic has a youth. Let me just focus on the youths, what they do. What are the things? Like, let me just focus on this quote: approachable and understand the needs of others. Now, basically, what is social behavior? We have already learned. In the sense, we have got all the perspective from various speakers. Even through the dignitaries has given their opinion, and even they have enhanced our knowledge. So basically, social behavior is one where you leave you just apart from your family, maybe your parents, you come out or step out, or where the network begins, where you meet the people outside, or through the online modes, maybe for the example of the conference itself. So basically, over there, your behavior will be counted, will start counting in the sense of a social behavior, in the sense the way you interact with the people. So the basic perspective now, like, normally what this social behavior includes. So it is like, making some, you're having some eye contact with the people when speaking to them. So basically, these are the involvement in the social behavior: smiling on people upon meeting them, etc., and asking for help when needed. Absolutely. So basically, in this, what I would like to tell is, like, let me just speak about something called as anti-social behavior, which is currently, which is can be seen in most of the cases, because after COVID, it's all related to the online things. The students are not too concentrated towards the studies, or there is no social behavior itself. Like, in the sense, if the students, like, we can develop the social behavior through the conferences or seminars sessions by interacting to the people. But still, there are some youths or the students who, there is no opportunity to mingle with the outsiders, just being single in the houses, just chit chatting. Everything will lead to an anti-social behavior. Watching. So, what are the effects of the, which will lead to this? Maybe a television impact, new technology, video games, cell phones, all those things which would impact the, this youths or the people who just sit inside the house. That's it. Like, they won't interact with the people. So first and foremost, how to overcome this, in the sense, how to build your social behavior in the very positive way. So why this social behavior plays a very important role, because in order to develop yourself, or in order to get your identity, in order to, as I mentioned, approachable and understand the needs of the people, others. In the sense, lots of people at the present scenario, at the present generation, we can find in olden days, there is something called as, helping nature. All those things would be work out very well. But at the present situation, maybe due to the effects of the, what I can say, technology, there is something called as concept called as jealousy, or there is something called as you don't want to help others, you just wanted to focus on your development itself. But this concept has to be come down. The culture has to be improved on the youths also. Like, they have to go through the Ramayana, maybe Mahabharata, maybe, at the present generation, the youths don't know what is the concept of the Ramayana, or maybe the Mahabharata, etc. So history is not known to the children. So what are the deficiency, in the sense, why is it so? It's due to of the parental and households situation. The home situation is a very important task. Okay. And preparing children to work on farm and new generation, like, the children normally used to work on the farms in the older generation, but at present only just a computer focus. And at last, I would like to conclude by saying, the thing is, like, the all the parents should show the two, they, anyway, the children are shown how to bring up, they focus on, like, development of the children by not giving more difficulties to them. But what I would suggest, please let them understand what is difficulty is all about in the life, how to overcome it, right? Because whether if you don't have any idea about the difficulties, like what you would sudden, if any loss happens, or sudden in case anything wrong happens to them, they may not have that tolerance to hold it off and face it off. So let them learn the difficulty level, let them go step by step in their life, so that that's what I would like to tell at the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Priyanka Bhatt, for giving your views. Yes, the children should know not only the upside of the life, should be known the low side of the life also. Thank you very much. Is Ms. Bhavna Jain is there? No, she is not there. Are you there?
Sir, in Abni Bindal.
No, where is Bhavna? Is Bhavna?
I am Bhavna Jain and I am presenting.
Okay. Because the name is Anvi. You are okay. No problem. So, Miss Bhavna Jain, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Naveen Gupta, the Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, as well as earlier youth guest. We would like to know your views on social behavior. Miss Bhavna Jain, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bhavna Jain and I am in MBA first year from Kite School of Management. Now, I will start with a quote. Behavior is everywhere. What is social behavior? Social behavior characterizes the interaction that occurs among individuals. These can be aggressive, mutualistic, cooperative, or parental. When individuals interact repeatedly, social relationships develop, and these are from among strangers, relatives, members, or different generations. Social behavior poses a threat to well-functioning of the society and has been on the rise in the last decade and keep rising every year among the youth. Now, I will tell you a real-life example during COVID situation. During COVID, my neighbor tested positive. He is very introvert, or we can say egoistic person also. In my society, no one cares for his situation. Also, everyone starts gossiping about him. That behavior of not helping him, is not supporting him, is wrong. Everyone thinks that why should we help others? Someone else will help. This is not the thinking one should carry. In emergency situation, one should always assume that it is our responsibility to help. Continuing with that view, I have some points regarding emergency situation. Noticing the emergency. In order for people to help, they must notice that an emergency has occurred. Sometimes very trivial things such as how much of a worry a person is and can prevent them from noticing someone else in trouble. Next point is interpreting an emergency as an emergency. Third point, assuming that it is your responsibility to help. Fourth point, knowing what to do. Even if all previous conditions are met, a person must know what form and what way we can help others. People are having different behavior in terms of social. In terms of physical attractiveness is defined as a physical attractiveness of a person's personality or behavior. Researchers believe physical attractiveness can be defined for any individual situationally. The explanation lies in the fact that as a society, we consciously or subconsciously tend to treat attractive people differently. And continue with this, it is also a point of similarity. Individuals are more likely to behave pro-socially towards society or those who consider to be close. Social behavior towards family members probably involves a sense of duty, reciprocity, and affective relationship. Positive friend influence. Adolescents who have friends are more likely to be more social without friends. Religion and rituals. There are several ways in which social behaviors plays an important role, like politics, culture, play, wit. Now, what wit is? Wit, it is an ability to respond to a social situation quickly in a moment in some intelligent way. There are various social issues faced by youth, like teen social media and texting habits, as well as how they consume media in changing the way they communicate, learn, and etc. These problems include depression, anxiety, and other like obesity, peer pressure, etc. Now, I will end my conclusion with a famous quote: behavior is a mirror in which everyone shows their image. Also, Abraham Maslow quote that the fact is that people are good, give people affection and security, and they will give affection and be secure in their feelings and their behavior. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Anvi Bindal, for, Miss Bhavna Jain, because the name is there for giving your views. And next time, please see to it the network, internet, your network should be proper. Thank you very much. Paucity of time, I would like to have that directly go to Dr. Naveen Gupta for his expert comments. You have about 4 minutes, Dr. Gupta, for giving your views.
Thank you very much. Bhavna has touched very important, though I don't want to discuss today about depression, anxiety, because I need a lot of time to discuss because that's my area, and my profession also. But common behavior के जो बात किया, तो I would like to share few, examples of the experiment which I have done in my so as I have told you earlier also about this Lapka culture in Agra. So that was the common behavior of the auto drivers, not of the auto driver. Those are related with the tourism industry, taxi driver, hotel industry, because Lapka is just is a slang and a local word in Hindi. So that is they are the kind of opportunists. They try to cheat the tourist because of their own interest. ठीक है, अब उनको वो पढ़ाया गया, जो हमारी जो एक बिहेवियर था, संस्कृति थी कि अतिथि देवो भव, which was replaced by the Western education. Nothing wrong, मैं ये नहीं कहा कि वही अचीवमेंट कि ना कि भला उसकी कमीज मेरी कमीज से ज्यादा सफेद कैसे, है ना. अभी हमारे स्टूडेंट ने, प्रियंका ने कहा जेलसी, ये सब चीजें, तो वो इतना इम्बाइब हो गया, ये दिल मांगे मोर, अचीवमेंट, मोर एंड मोर, थोड़े में गुजारा नहीं चलता है, अब तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा चाहिए. तो उस चक्कर में क्या हुआ, फॉल्स मीन्स को हमने अडॉप्ट कर लिया, वो मैकियावेलिज्म बिहेवियर आ गया. आई वांट समहाउ, मुझे चीट करना पड़े, मुझे कुछ भी करना पड़े, आई वांट मोर एंड मोर. दवा दारू का काम नहीं चलता अभी, तो दवा का तो शायद चल जाता है, लेकिन और चीजों का शायद काम नहीं चलता है. तो हमने उसमें जो प्रैक्टिस किया, जो भी अपने स्टूडेंट्स ने भी मेंशन किया, रीइंफोर्समेंट ऑफ द गुड बिहेवियर, दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड. हमने एक भी केस अगर ईमानदारी के देखा तो उसको खूब गाया, खूब उसको मीडिया में प्रिंट कराया, खूब अप्रिशिएट किया, तो उनको बताया कि नहीं, ईमानदारी इज अ ट्रेट विच नीड टू बी अप्रिशिएटेड नाउ. पहले नहीं था, अभी जरूरी हो गया, क्योंकि वो कहते हैं नहीं कि 100 में से 90 बेईमान, फिर भी मेरा भारत महान. तो अब तो महान वो 10% तो रीइंफोर्समेंट, उनका फिर सेल्फ एस्टीम हमने बढ़ाया. Self esteem can know only a good person, a man of ethics, an honest person is only valuable and VIP for us. तो उनका सेल्फ एस्टीम हमने बढ़ाया. देन वी यूज माइथोलॉजी में, लिटरेचर में कितने सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट हैं जिनको हमने प्रैक्टिस करना छोड़ दिया. पिग्मलियन इफेक्ट, जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ के नोवेल से वी पिक्ड अप. आई हैव रिटन अ वंडरफुल आर्टिकल, पिग्मलियन इफेक्ट, वो यूज किया. यू कैन डू, यू आर लाइक दैट, ये काम कर सकते हैं. और जब हम घर के अंदर सेल्फ एस्टीम, अगर मार्क्स कम आ गए, तो हम बॉडी लैंग्वेज से, भले ही हमने पढ़ लिया है, पेरेंटिंग में सिखा दिया कि नेवर कमेंट, बट वो बॉडी लैंग्वेज तो, बिकॉज वी ऑल अंडरस्टैंड कि माय पेरेंट्स आर नॉट हैप्पी इफ आई एम नॉट 99%. तो वो सेल्फ एस्टीम पे हम गाए बजाए, वो आपने बिल्कुल लाल साहब मेंशन किया है, it is a bad etiquette if you ask about the salary. यहाँ पर तो everywhere, what is your package? We don't ask, are you happy or not? Are you happy or not? Are you satisfied? But what is your salary? We don't ask what is the quality of job. Are you able to spare time with your family members? Are you able to spare time with your children? वो बहुत रिसर्च अब बिहेवियरल साइंस में आए हैं, यही इंपॉर्टेंट है. वो पैकेज, ये बड़ी कार, ये बड़ी, ये नहीं इंपॉर्टेंट है. अप्रिशिएटिंग इंक्वायरी को यूज किया, व्हाट इज रियली गुड इन माय चाइल्ड. तो वो जापान जैसी चीजों से हमें थोड़ी छोटी चीजें सीखनी होंगी. जहां भी कहीं अच्छे एक्सपेरिमेंट हुआ, आई डोंट क्रिटिसाइज फॉर एवरीथिंग इन यूएस और डेवलप्ड कंट्री, देयर आर सर्टेन गुड बिहेवियर. स्माइलिंग बिहेवियर आपने बताया, है ना, बच्चों ने भी मेंशन किया है. तो वो सारा का सारा चीजों को मैथोलॉजी से वी हैव टू लर्न आल्सो. वो दोबारा से रीइंट्रोड्यूस करो, वो कहानियां सुनाओ, क्योंकि अभी तो नहीं तो मीडिया सुनाएगा अपनी कहानी, तो आप वो सुनाइए ना. जैसे भावना जैन, शी माइट बी नोइंग कांसेप्ट ऑफ द अपरिग्रह, है ना, कि उतना ही चाहिए, थोड़ा ही चाहिए, थोड़े में गुजारा करना. अभी तो कहने नो need, जो गांधी यूज्ड टू से कि नेचर हैज गॉट एनफ टू फीड बट नॉट टू ग्रीड. अभी तो हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा चाहिए, तो हम रिलीजियस तो हो गए पर स्पिरिचुअलिज्म से हम लोग खत्म होते जा रहे हैं। तो ये एक छोटा सा मैंने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था। आई कुड सी लॉट ऑफ गुड रिजल्ट्स। एज ए बिहेवियर साइंटिस्ट हमें रिसर्च करनी होती है। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर शेयरिंग माय गिविंग माय
Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta, for giving your views. And I would like to inform our youth guests as well as to the viewers. Dr. Gupta is through his own NGO is working every week. They go and teach the etiquettes, how to behave to the auto drivers at Agra, and how to behave with the because the foreign tourists nowadays COVID is because of the COVID, but how and they have changed, and their lifestyle. They are helping with the good dresses, with the smile face, with a clean shaved, and so that the tourist will not have any problem of the foul language and the behavior. So if you youth will also start changing someone in your own family or your neighborhood, even one person, if you can change, I think that is the biggest achievement for you yourself, and the pursuit of happiness which you will not get in other works. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Saroka News, Bharat Post News, Karur News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor to bring to you every day a new topic in our media conference with Lal Goel. Tomorrow, for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. The topic is physical fitness for women. And our panelists are Dr. Rajiv Anand, senior psychiatrist and marriage counselor, Mumbai. Miss Rita Banerjee, former General Manager, State Innovation in Family Planning Service Project Agency, Lucknow. Miss Tanu Arora, Vice President, Swiss Ray International SE, Singapore. Miss Bhavna Shah, World Powerlifting Champion, Mumbai. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Dr. Naveen Gupta. Thank you very much, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. And thank you very much, all my youth guests, those who have given so much good input. And I'm sure all the parents, the civil society should understand that if we want good behavior from our children, our youth, we have to change our own etiquettes. We have to change our own thinking. If we will abuse in front of our youth, they are going to abuse. Even if the youth is abusing, please tell him or her, please don't abuse. Use good language. Don't use the foul language. The youth or the young child will always follow the parents or the teachers. Thank you very much. And thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.